We have all been there. You're in the car, the pee pains start hitting you, but there's nowhere to go and relieve yourself. In my case, this happens a lot because I feel that my bladder is the size of a walnut. I always have to go to the bathroom, and I'm always thirsty and drinking fluids. It's a vicious cycle for me. Now, I've been in some tough binds, but so far, I've never pissed my pants. I've been close, even to the point of preparing myself for it, telling myself, okay, it'll be okay if it happens. You'll just wet your pants a bit, no big deal. You can always shower and change when you get home. Now, the closest I've come to a mess was about a year ago. I was heading home from my grandparents' house. It was late at night by the time I left, but before I did, I thought that it would be smart to hit a gas station and grab a big gulp of some sort of caffeinated beverage. This way I can stay awake during the trip. So I stopped and I picked the biggest cup I could find. I mean, this thing was massive. And I knew that drinking all of this liquid would be a problem, so I was responsible and I peed before leaving the gas station. Now, the trip home is all Interstate 95. Now, for those of you that don't know, it runs north and south of the eastern United States. In Florida, they are in the process of adding lanes, so there is usually a section that is under construction. Also along 95 are rest areas. And I'm proud to say, or embarrassed to say, that I know the locations by heart now. In fact, I pass 2 of them when I leave my grandparents' house. So I'm about a good hour into my trip. I've already passed 1 rest area, and everything has been good so far. I'm on my last stretch, which I like to call the dark zone, because there are no exits, the next rest area is still a ways away, and it's just dark. As I finish the last drop of soda from my bucket of a cup, it hits me. Now, usually my bladder will warm me up to the idea of needing to relieve itself, but this time it was different. It was like it was asleep for the past hour and just woke up to say, "Oh shit, I'm full! We need to do this now!" And of all places for this to happen to me, it had to be in the dark zone. And what would you know? The dark zone was under construction. This wasn't very convenient, so I started frantically reviewing my options in the head. And I was like, okay, well, I can piss my pants. I have a blanket in the truck that I can sit on and the seat stays clean. Or I can try to pull off the side of the road and pee in the woods. I really didn't want to pee in my pants. I still had an hour into my trip, and this would take a pretty massive hit on my ego. Plus, I'm pretty sure there'll be plenty of other opportunities to piss my pants when I become an old man. But to be honest with you, it was pretty dark out. Not many streetlights, and the thought of going into the woods while it was pitch black didn't really sound like a good plan to me. Thoughts of running into an alligator or a hobo with my pants down were running through my head. Nah, this wasn't happening. So I look around my truck for ideas, and, well, there it was. My big gulp. Sitting empty, looking at me. Yep, that's what's going to happen. So I dodge a few cones and pull off the side of the road and unbutton my pants. Now, for those of you who know the difficulties of peeing in a cup while sitting in your vehicle will know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to do the half-sitting, half-standing type of approach with my pants pulled down halfway and trying to bend things in ways that really shouldn't be bent in. The cup is tilted, so I'm also worried about the spillage and splashback. Not the most ideal situation, but you know what? Better than getting attacked in the woods with your pants down. It was finally done. Luckily, the cup was more than big enough to hold its contents, but now I'm faced with the problem of disposal. I wasn't about to drive around with a cup of my own urine. What if I forget what's in it and accidentally take a sip from the cup, or I hit some bumps and it spills into the cup holders? Yeah, no, the cup and its contents needed to go. Now, for some reason, I was paranoid about just tossing the cup and piss out the window while I was sitting there. In my mind, I needed to break up the evidence. So I dumped the piss out of the cup from my window, and I pulled back onto the road while holding the cup out the window. I got further down the road and picked up some speed, and then released the cup into its unnatural habitat. So this way, the piss and the cup would be separated. Yeah, I know that this sounds ridiculous, but in my mind I was thinking that I didn't want a cop to be doing some random litter checks one day and find my piss-filled cup, and then they run fingerprints and DNA samples and trace it back to me. Yeah, so idiotic. I don't know why this was going through my mind at the time, but for some reason I was pretty paranoid. I have now better prepared myself for when the pee-pee paints hit, and I have nowhere to go or no cup to put it in. Now, I haven't used it yet, but look out if I ever have to be forced to bust this thing open.